Horatio. It's Tuesday. I have done I can't sit properly today. I have done many things today. Today was the day for many things. I did my first ever podcast, which is very exciting, with Cameron Kunzelman, and it will be available. When it is, I shall make it. I shall put a link at the bottom. We talk about Home and Lone Survivor, which are two indie horror survival games, and the problems that come about through those games, and also why we didn't enjoy them. I may even hazard to say that I found them hateful. So that's pretty exciting. I also wanted to apologize for last week. Last week my brain sort of did this crazy implosion thing where instead of making sense at all ever, I didn't make any sense at all ever. And I ended up talking around everything instead of actually talking about the stuff. And the reason why this is, and I think that this is what I want to start with today, is how instead of feeling free to speak, or instead of feeling as though I'm allowed to have an opinion, the backlash that we sort of saw, that other viewers may not have seen, really made it very clear to me that there is such a huge amount of dislike and anger towards potentially safe progressive views. And this was really damaging to me, because I was so angry about a number of things that I wanted to address last week, but because of how visible it was that when people disagree with statements, that it can become an incredibly silencing and very brutal tool, that I felt as though I wasn't able to speak. And so to circumvent the problem, my brain was doing this crazy convolution technique, a lot like Judith Butler, which is a joke that I used on the blog that I wrote recently, where I didn't talk for myself at all, and I tried to be as unessential as possible. So, for example, I would say that the thing that one might call feminism would perhaps lead to, and so it was this very weird dialogue. So I'm going to do my best right now to be as forthright and as rage-inducing as I would like to be normally. The reason that I wanted to talk or what I want to talk about really quickly today, is regression in design and regression in ideology, and how problematic this is becoming. So I don't know if anybody is familiar with Kinder, but Kinder creates Kinder eggs and Kinder surprises within them, and it's a chocolate with a toy on the inside. And I don't know how long it has been since the inception of Kinder, but I have always enjoyed Kinder eggs. I quite like their chocolate, and I always liked having a tool to build on the inside. Most recently, they created girl Kinder eggs, and this is why I'm so vengeful today. So, it's one thing to do something that's not harmful necessarily to the design world, where you're just sort of enforcing the stereotypes that persist, but it's something very different to take those stereotypes and actually damage them further. So I don't know why, and if you're a Kinder and you work for Kinder, well then fuck you. I don't know why Kinder thinks that the appropriate thing to do when marketing Kinder surprises is to package a girl's Kinder egg as not only just having a pink outer wrapping, but being instead having those toys which aren't constructive at all, but are like baubles and clownish little girl dolls and different pieces of jewelry. And their advertisement features a young mother and her daughter, and it's this bonding experience between the two of them, where they get to experience femininity and really horrible gender boundaries together in this extremely superficial and very problematic way. So I'm really upset about this, because I feel like this is a potentially damaging thing in design, is where we don't necessarily, yes, alright, so here's my thing. I want women to be visible, I want ethnicities to be visible. People need to acknowledge that the current state of ideology is such that doesn't permit difference to become visible, or if it does, it's in this very structured way. Instead, there's all these justifications for how difference shouldn't be acknowledged. And I do think that's very problematic. So on the one hand, I'm extremely excited to see, you know, whenever there is a difference that needs to be encountered, I like when that happens. But it's very problematic when that difference is not a difference in actuality, but really just an enforcement of gender stereotypes and a really problematic view of what it is that women do and should enjoy. And I'm really pissed off, like super angry about it. So that's where I sort of wanted to lead things today. I wanted to talk about how there is this potential for regression and perhaps even an insurgence of that regression within, I'm going to say, Western ideology right now, and how problematic and difficult it is to sort of sit and watch it. And I think the biggest problem that we face is that we want to still be able to enjoy that which we find problematic and that which we find potentially harmful. So I'm hereby banning Kinder, and I will tell as many people as I can to really make it known consciously that this is a very dangerous thing that they're doing for gender in particular. I also wanted to broach the notion or ask you if you think it's potentially damaging just that within the work that is created within design, within academia, that while we negotiate and critically analyze the different things around us, that we continue to perpetuate things by enjoying those same things that we find problematic. So video games, for example, there are certain video games that Anita Sarkeesian really beautifully highlights in her newest videos that are extremely problematic. And whose role is it, let's say, to make it apparent to the designers, the developers, the consumers, that these are not just things that are problematic, but that we perpetuate solely by continuing to enjoy, by continuing to consume those same things. So that's sort of where I wanted to leave things off. I'm super jealous you're in Victoria right now, and I'm sort of a mess in my head, and I'm really pissed off at design culture right now. And my goal is, I'm going to construct it this way or lie to myself about it, that although I'm not able to enjoy the same critical discourses within the conference that I'll be attending, I hope that I will be a small diseased obstacle in the way of just blatant consumerism and things. Alright, okay, so I'm sorry, this is a weird little blog. Super weird. Once you get out of the habit of it, so bad. Anyway, okay, I'll talk to you later.